Hello, this is Erica with the Purple Quilt Company. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Today is my Finish It Friday video for Friday, December 20th, 2024. So if you want to see what I've been working on this week, please stay tuned. It's been a pretty productive week this week in the sewing room. I'm really excited to share what I was able to get accomplished. I have the one finish behind me that I'm really excited about, and then just a few little things that I've been working on. So we'll go through them one at a time. I think we definitely should start here with the Giant Jacob's Ladder quilt. I do have some video about it as soon as I took it off of the sewing machine. So I'll show that first, and then we'll zoom in on this quilting so that you can see it after it's been washed. I literally just finished the binding on the Giant Jacob's Ladder quilt. So the quilt is completely done at this point. And I haven't put a quilt on the design wall in a while, but this one fit, and I'm so happy with it that I wanted to show it to you guys before I give it away. As I said, it is just finished, not washed, not anything. So I'm ready to get it in the washer. Not quite yet because I need to label it, but I want to show you, I guess let's kind of zoom in on the quilting a little bit. I did use the alternating Baptist fan pattern on it, and it looks really great going across the quilt. The thread that I used was the King Tut thread, and it quilted up beautifully. I was a little bit concerned about the binding because there's not a lot of contrast with the binding, but it still looks nice. I'll zoom in a little bit if I can on that binding. But like I said, it is not as much contrast as I would have liked, but I did not want to purchase any new fabric, and so I did not. But let's see, can you even see it? No, see, there's really no contrast. Up close is a little bit better, but really not so much. I'm going to try and see if I can go down to the bottom of the quilt, if you can see it a little bit better. But there's just not a lot of contrast. But it's okay. It's just, ideally you like a little bit more contrast on the flange. But look at this quilt. I think it is wonderful. I do want to turn it over so that you can see the back and see exactly what was cut off of the back. So let's flip the quilt over, but take a look at it. It turned out really great. Here's the back of the quilt. I think that it is just as spectacular as the front. These are just giant 12.5-inch squares, unfinished, that I put into the back of the quilt. And then it ended up being a little bit larger than the quilt top. So we have cut out pieces you can see on the left edge and on the right edge, there's some parts cut out, as well as the top and bottom. And what I'm going to do for the label is I'm going to take one of these white squares, and I'm just going to write on it with my fabric pen, write the name of the quilt and any other information I want to put in it. And then it should it should wash up nicely. But I'm so happy with this quilt and to have it done. I am happy, sad. I'm happy because it's completed. I'm sad because now it has to go away. But either way, a gorgeous quilt. This baby and his family are going to really love this quilt. So I'm excited that I can share it with them. So now that the quilt has been washed, you can see hopefully the little crinkliness of the fabric. It looks so good. I love this quilt so much that I do not want to give it away, but it is already slated for somebody and I have to give it away. But take a look at it. I love the way the Baptist fan came out, and I love the way that it washed up so nice and so crinkly. It's so pretty, and I'm excited to share it. I think I'm going to be giving it away tomorrow. So it came together just perfectly, and I'm so almost tempted to make one of these for my own self, maybe a little bit bigger, but it is so cute, so cute, so cute. Um, Everything else that I've done this week has been just kind of a slower process. I did some orphan blocks. So if you've been following the channel, this week's block was the pinwheel block. And I just used, for this one, I pulled some from my 5-inch squares. It's upside down, or it's, yeah, sideways. I pulled this one. These were 4 5-inch squares, 2 color and 2 neutral. But I had some leftover half square triangle pieces from other blocks that I made. And I made this one, which you can see is a little bit smaller. And then this one, which is smaller still. For this one, I pressed the seams open. And then this last one is very teeny tiny. And it still needs to be squared up. I don't even know if you can see it. There we go. So really small, still needs to be squared up. I'm going to put these in with my orphan blocks so that if I decide to make a quilt with orphan blocks, they can be kind of fillers to fill out the size of some smaller blocks maybe. But I really have enjoyed making these pinwheels. There are still a few pieces at my sewing machine that I will probably just try to sew up a little bit at a time. I did, however, go back to my Jacob's Ladder blocks for the next project that I'm going to share. Now I have the community quilt upstairs, and I'll put a picture of it here. That's a quilt that was created by several ladies and a few kids at the church when we had a car show. And so I've put the blocks together. I cut them down to the same size, put them together with sashing and cornerstones and a stop border. And I'm working on the outer border now. Now, in my brain, I thought that I was going to have more leftover fabric or that it would make bigger pieces. But this is what I have. I've sewn each of the leftover strips together. I did have to do a little bit of evening out some of the pieces, but let me show you. These are offcuts from the variation of the Take 5 block. Most of them have 2 pieces. Let me see how much you can see. Yeah, most of them have 2 pieces, like this purple and this blue, but some of them have 3 pieces. I'm trying to think if there are any on this one. Yeah, so this one right here has 3 pieces, but my plan for these is to cut them down to 3.5 inches. And so they're going to be several pieces, but it definitely won't be enough to go around that large quilt. So I'm going to be working on that next week, getting everything squared up. I think I can get 3 strips out of each of these. This strip is a little bit wider, but we'll just see how much I can get out of it. And then I'm going to fill in with some other fabrics. I do have other pieces, other scraps that are left over from this quilt. This is from when I was cutting down the parts for the Take 5 variation block. So I have some pieces that I should be able to get some 3.5 inch strips out of, and then I'll add those to these cut up strips. It's going to be kind of a process to get this border, but I think it's going to be fun. And then I can get the quilt up on the long arm, hopefully within the next week, get it quilted so that it can be given away as well. It's going to be a really nice quilt. I'm looking forward to finishing it and sharing it also. As far as the next few weeks, I'm excited because today, this Friday, was our last day before we go on our holiday break. So I have a couple of weeks that I will be at home and I can spend more time sewing. Very excited about that. My goals are to hopefully finish the community quilt, and I have the commission of 3 bears that I want to get finished. So both of those are going to be priorities. I'm also going to be wrapping up the new year, like thinking about all the projects that I've completed, and hopefully do a video about that next week, and then start to plan for the new year. I'm excited about setting some goals or setting some priorities and getting some things done for the new year. Let me know in the comments, what are you excited about for the holiday season? And then what are you looking forward to in the new year? I would love to hear, and we can share together what our goals are, what our priorities might be. If you have any questions about what you've seen in this video, leave them in the comments below. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for all of your support this year. It has been a wonderful year for the Purple Quilt Company, and I look forward to bringing you many more videos and keeping up with you as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.